Miniature Market has thousands of board games at discounted prices. Click the direct link below to see all of those discounted games. Hello my friends, today we're going to be taking our envoys and moving them around to different towns, gaining influence, and trying to have the most points in the end. Today we're taking a look at Cascadero. This is a Reiner Knizia design, and it's brought to us by Bitewing Games. So let me show you how it's played. I'll see you on the other side. In Cascadero, you're going to be one of these four colors. You're going to get lots of these little tokens here that have basically people riding on the horses, and then we're going to get some flags, and these are going to help you track bonuses. So now that you know what the pieces are that you have, let's go show you how you use them. Here's the main board for the game. You're going to be building out into these town regions here, placing your pieces, and then tracking your bonuses on this right side. Now you notice the bonus tracks correspond with the colors of the towns over here, but they also correspond with the player colors. This is the most important part of the game. Let's say that you're blue, even though you have a token on each of these tracks, and you might be moving up these different tracks. If by the end of the game, you don't have your token on the very top step, level 3, of your color, you cannot win. Unless, of course, none of the players make it there, but that won't happen. So if you're not all the way up here, so you're going to be going up tracks, but you really need to focus on the one that's your color. How do you go about doing that? Well, on your turn, it's very simple. You place one of your Cascaderos on a spot on the board that is not occupied. Then you might score something, and you can place them anywhere. So you can place here or here or here. It doesn't matter. As long as they're open, you have all flexibility of doing that. Now let's say on a future turn, I go here. I now have a group of these, and there's a group is 2 or more, and they just touched this. They just got to this town. And because they just got here, and because they're a group, they're going to gain influence here. If you're the first person of any color to get to this town, you're going to get 1 influence. In this case, blue, which is what I want to move up. So I am going to move up on this track 1 like that. Now let's say a little later, the pink player comes in here, and they go like this, and now they've gotten to this group. Well, they don't get 1 influence. Any player, regardless, even if it's you, the second time or further that anyone reaches this town with a group, they're going to get 2 influence. So instead of getting 1, they're going to get 2. So instead of getting 1, they're going to go up here. And you're going to get a bonus. This player's going to get 2 points because they're the first here. Let's say a little bit later, I had a piece here, and now I go here. Well, guess what? Here again, it's a separate group from here. They're not touching. And so I'm going to get 2 because I am not the first one there with this group. So I'd get 2 on that influence track. So in this case, I'll move 1. I'll get 1 point for being second, and I get to move here. These ones are special. If you get here exactly on these dark ones or the seals, you get a seal. Otherwise, if the seal's not there, or you get the, if you get here later, you can actually move one of your Cascaderos to an adjacent spot. You can't score with them when you move them, but you can move them. Now the seals are cool because you can place a seal down and one of your Cascaderos, and instead of, normally you wouldn't score here because it's the first one here, you need a group of 2 or more. This allows you to score this immediately, so in this case I would get to go up 1 on the blue. So I'd go up on blue. This allows me to go up 1 on any track. Well, guess what? Maybe I'll go up on this track, and on the first one here, I'll get 2 points. So you can combo things together. Now there are some spots like this that you can't go on, you have to pass it. So I need to get 1, 2, or more to get there. Well, how do you get more than 2? Well, let's say orange goes here. Anytime you go to a spot that has a herald on it, you get 1 more than normal. They're the first ones here. Normally they'd get 1. Because of the herald, they'd get 2. But let's say on a future turn, I go here. I'm the second one here, or I'm not the first in this example. So normally I'd get 2 points, but because I'm here, I'd get 3. So I'd go 1, 2, get the 3 points for being the first here, 3. I can place another 1, just basically getting an extra turn. So sometimes you're comboing together a lot of things here. Now you might notice I have now linked 2 blue towns with the same group. Linking 2 blue towns with 1 group, I would place this here, and I would get 2 points immediately on the scoreboard. Now as you can see, there's some to link the yellow color, and as you can see, they have all the other colors here too. And if you've done the bonus for all of these, meaning you've linked 2 of each of them with at least a single group, you can go here, which is 10 points, which is pretty big. Now in all those bonus types, every single person can do each of these. These bonuses, only 1 person can do each of them. This has to do with placing your cubes on the track, the bonus tracks. Meaning having 1 of your cubes all the way up to the 3rd level. That's how you get to win one of these 3rd levels here. This is having 3 of them at level 2 or 5 of them at level 1. And you'll see those levels are 1, 2, and 3 on the track. There's also a bonus 3 points if you have 3 seals, meaning having them, not have used them. They have to be in your possession. This one's having 5 different colored ones linked with 1 group, or 3 of the same color linked with a group. So you're trying to link things together, but also score in different other ways. So even though you are trying to link things together to the same groups, sometimes different groups, but you're also trying to block other people from doing things like that. Now the game will end as soon as somebody gets to 50 points, or if somebody runs out of their envoys, which are their little cowboy guys. And then whoever has the most points is the winner, assuming that you're one of the ones that made it to the top of your track. In this case, orange couldn't even win, even if they had the most points. So from the ones that made it to the top, whoever has the most points is the winner. There's also an advanced side of the board where there's less towns, but lots of these different farmer spots. And these are randomly filled with different bonuses, essentially the same types of bonuses that you find on the track. And so on your turn, if you go next to one of these, then that's unlocked, which means you can go on here and get the bonus of it on the next turn. Now this one allows you to move one of those white heralds to make other towns more valuable, and the other ones are like placing another Cascadero, moving up one of the tracks, or getting points. So it just gives you some more variability and some different strategies as to you get to decide where and when these bonuses trigger depending on where you place things. I want to preface this by saying I do enjoy Reiner Knizia games. He is one of my favorite designers. He's just an amazing designer. Now, more about how this compares to some of those other games in just a moment. So first of all, streamlined turns. This game is, my gosh, that's one thing I love about Reiner's designs. There's not a lot of fat on them, if any at all. Place a piece. That's your turn. Place a piece. Pretty much anywhere that doesn't have a piece on it. That's, I mean, wow. It doesn't get much simpler than that. But there's tons of depth there as to where to place, when to place. What am I trying to do? Where am I trying to link? What are other people doing? Where are they placing? Where are they going for? Where am I on these different tracks? Which bonuses can I do? There's tons of depth by just the decision of, I'm just gonna place a piece. I love that you have that freedom to place in any unoccupied area. It's just really cool because you can build over here, and I can build over here. Usually you're gonna be building and creating your sort of network, but then it might come to the point where you're like, oof, I really need to put one there so I don't get blocked out of that there because I need to kind of get over there a little bit. But having that freedom to place anywhere, really, you think it would give you too many choices and you'd analysis paralysis test, but you don't. It actually really helps the game be what it is because it just gives you that freedom that feels really good. You have tons of agency in this game. I like that you're trying to create chains for bonuses. So you're trying to get things to chain together for, hey, let's get 2 of the blue ones together, or two of a bunch of them together, or all of the different ones together. So you're creating these chains to try to get yourself those bonuses, but you're also comboing the track bonuses. So you're going, oh, I'm gonna go here first. That's gonna move me up this track. That's gonna let me place another envoy. I'm gonna place this one. That's gonna let me move up on this track, which allows me to move up on another track, which now gets me 3 points. It's like, you've got this sort of almost like Ganshan clever combo there. Or I guess I should say cascading bonuses, which is where the game got its name from, Cascadero, because it's a cascade. You're cascading bonuses with the caballeros, I guess. So yeah, the comboing the bonuses is a big hook in this game. I like that you're blocking others. You're seeing where they're trying to go. You're like, oh, I got to go there anyways. Let's go there now, so that they can't get around me and get to where they need to go. So there's a lot of that spatial awareness of blocking the others, which is kind of fun. There's a lot of tension trying to get to the top of that track. The first time I played this game, I never got to the top of the track. I thought I was gonna make it there, and I didn't. And I was like, okay, well now I know. I gotta lean into that even heavier than I did. I've also seen it where it looked like someone was gonna run out of pieces because they did the bonuses really well. They had like 3 or 4 pieces left, or one other player had like 8 left, but it didn't look like they were gonna get there. But because they cascaded their bonuses well, they were able to, in like one turn, move 4 spots on the track and get there. And it was just like an epic turn, and they finally got there and they could breathe a sigh of relief. But there was that tension of getting to the top of the track, which I like. The game is about 15 minutes per player, so there is a lot of game in a short time. You can play a 2-player game in 30 minutes. Now, the board does not scale for 2 players. It's just the same board. So you might think, well, it's not great with 2. No, I actually really enjoyed it with 2 as well. It kind of feels different, right? With 2, you're not gonna get blocked quite as much. It's easier to make the chains, but with 4 there are. So it feels differently between 2 and 3 and 4, but I wouldn't say that like the game needs a 2-player variant. I felt you're a little bit more free to do. It's a little bit more open. So I didn't dislike it with 2 players, but it's about 15 minutes per player. So if you want a quick 30-minute game, you play a 2-player game. Otherwise, you're playing about an hour for a 4-player game. So overall, I enjoyed the game. The the issues that I have with the game, or just things that maybe weren't as good, is the ending can be kind of anticlimactic. You could be getting towards the end, you could be seeing your 2 rounds away, and there's no like final scoring or hidden scoring, so it's like, oh, he got to 50, or hell, he ran out of things. We saw that coming, and guess what? He's ahead on the scoreboard, he wins. Or like you can kind of know you're out of it a round or two before the game ends, or maybe even before that, because there's no hidden or final scoring, and it's just kind of like, and it ends immediately. It's not like, oh, you get another round to try to do something. No, it ends. So like, some games can end anticlimactically. Now, earlier in the video, I talked about his different games. This has a lot of similarities to some of his other games, which Reiner is known for, is taking an idea and playing with it and making it another game. So maybe, you know, Through the Desert. I liked this better than Through the Desert, but I didn't like it as much as Blue Lagoon, which also is building networks and doing set collection and has an interesting thing of where you place on the first half decides where you're going to start in the second half of the game and things like that. It's also somewhat familiar to, you know, Samurai in a bit, but you know, it is similar. It's kind of like there's different pieces of some of these other games in this. It definitely feels like a different and unique game, but it also feels familiar at the same time. And for me, I really enjoyed it, but Blue Lagoon is one of my favorite games, and it's not going to dethrone that. And it's familiar enough, I guess, that it's the same kind of game, even though there's a lot of different, the whole comboing thing is a whole different game in this. But people are going to ask, so let me just lay it out there. But other than that, if you're looking for, you know, a streamlined game that's very easy to play, easy to teach, that has some depth there, and you're a fan of Reiner, then you probably know if you're going to like this one or not. It's been the Game Boy Geek, breaking down barriers, growing relationships, and board games by helping you find the next one you love. Game Toppers upgrades every game you play, and they'll be launching the 4.5 Kickstarter this July, which will introduce the new Galactic Minecraft Game Topper, as well as new miniature game terrain packs, leg kit options, dining covers, accessories, and amazing package deals. Game Toppers will be at the Origins Game Fair in Columbus, Ohio, June 19th to 23rd at booth C2119, where some of these new items will be demoed, so stop by there or check them out at GameToppersLLC.com.